Over the last 4 years, we've owned this 2017 Flagstaff hardside A-frame camper. During that time, this little trailer has traveled thousands of miles through multiple states and stayed at a bunch of campgrounds. It's also had a lot of maintenance, updates, and upgrades, many which have been documented right here on my channel. I've had quite a few viewers request that I do a recap episode on all of the things that were done to this camper. Well, here you go, so let's hop to it. We purchased this used 2017 Fleetwood T19QBHW in the summer of 2022. It needed some work, but the basic structure was pretty good. Since we bought it, I have posted over 30 episodes and shorts of much of the work I've done on it. I've upgraded it from just an average hardside A-frame into what we consider a very good, comfortable, and reliable travel camper. As soon as we bought it, the very first thing I had to do was replace the roof torsion rods. Lifting the roof was almost impossible for me to do, so I knew there had to be at least one torsion rod that was broken. It turned out there were actually two of them broken. While I was replacing them, I also changed out the roof bungee cords. I wasn't happy with the slide-out trays that Forest River put into the two compartments. They were stiff to use and really limited the amount of cargo I could store. In the large front compartment, I removed the tray and its slide, opened it all up, and then installed a small 2-foot compartment for the side door, which is a perfect place to store leveling blocks, wheel chocks, and tools. On the other end, I installed this shelf. One of the issues we have with this camper is the smaller refrigerator. It's really nice because it operates on propane 120 volts or 12 volts, and it does work really well, but we like to keep a lot of fresh foods with us as we travel and camp. To do this, we bought this portable refrigerator. When we travel, it sits in the back seat of my truck and keeps our drinks, snacks, lunch, and other food cold. When we get to the campsite, I move it to this shelf. To power it, I installed a 12-volt outlet that it plugs into. This fridge does generate heat, so I installed this vent on the wall behind it. Another thing I noticed as soon as I bought this camper was there was water coming into the front compartment. I discovered that the hatch lid was not designed or installed correctly, and rainwater was coming through the lid bolt holes. I replaced the rotted wood and replaced the rusted bolts with stainless steel ones that I also installed waterproof gaskets on. I next found out that water could easily flow off the side of the compartment down this wall and into this hatch, so I fabricated a small water diverter to stop that from happening. One thing that really bothered me was all the side hatches were equipped with locks that needed a key every time I wanted to open them. This was way too inconvenient, so I switched them out with lockable push-button ones. A normal part of owning an A-frame is occasionally needing to replace the foam roof seal. This seal keeps water and creatures from getting between the roof panels when the top is down, and it eventually gets dry and brittle. I ordered the correct foam gasket directly from Forest River, and I installed it in an hour or so. I still have enough foam to do this job a second time. Eventually, the factory-installed skylights will deteriorate, crack, and start leaking. This is basically caused by the manufacturer installing light-gauge plastic skylights that can't hold up to the rigors of the elements or the stresses of being towed down the highway. To solve this, I purchased heavier-duty skylights and installed them. The Luxon that they are made of is superior to the original ones and should last much longer. I started by replacing the two front skylights. I have very detailed episodes on how I did the work. It's not an easy job, but it's very doable, and by doing it myself, I saved a lot of money. The large rear skylight finally got to the point where it also needed to be replaced. That job turned out to be even more difficult and costly, but it was worth it. Now this A-frame has 3 new leak-free skylights. I did another modification to the roof vent. While towing the camper, I noticed that the vent was wobbling around in the wind. I didn't want it to be a victim of an unplanned rapid disassembly, so I installed a door sweep to act as an air dam. It doesn't wobble anymore. While I was doing all this work on the outside of the A-frame, I did find some softwood in the floor inside the compartments in the back of the camper. so I cut out the bad stuff and replaced it with some new wood. There was also things to do on the inside of the camper. When we purchased it, this camper didn't even have a mattress. One of the things we really liked about this design is it has a full-size queen bed, something very few small trailers have. I ordered a new quality foam mattress and installed it, but it just wasn't quite comfortable enough for us, so we added a 1 1/2 inch foam topper. To be on the safe side, we installed both of them inside a plastic bed cover just in case. It's an ounce of prevention that could save me from having to replace the mattress again. One thing we found is that this bed is really difficult to put sheets on. After struggling with it for a couple of years, Mrs. Hoptuit had a good idea, and we bought a large 2-person sleeping bag. It's a simple solution, and it really works great. Up front, the dinette was nice, but I saw an opportunity to make it better. The fake leather on the lower cushions was worn, but the foam was still good, so my daughter was nice enough to sew up some cloth covers for them. Next, the table was just too large to use comfortably. I made a new one, repurposing the original table legs, but made it smaller so it's easier to slide around inside the camper or fold up and remove. Under the seat near the door, I wanted to install a portable toilet. There are plenty of times where you really need a toilet, and I figured installing a decent one was a worthwhile project. I purchased this nice unit from Amazon. The issue with it was that it's a bit too tall to fit under the seat, so I had to raise the seat compartment up to accommodate it. It's a simple thing to remove the cushions and flip up the panel to gain access to the toilet. When you need to dump it, you lift it out, detach the tank portion, and dump it either into the black water dump or take it to the campground's bathroom. It's actually easy to do and not messy at all. The end of the bench seat next to the toilet is a storage area that we can access from the top or from the outside hatch. This small camper really has a lot of outside storage, but inside storage is a bit lacking. I wanted to be able to add enough storage to bring canned goods, clothing, and supplies, but I didn't want to lose any of our inside features. Well, I came up with a solution. Since it's just Mrs. Hoptuit and myself using this trailer, I figured we could get cozy during meals and sit together on one side of the dinette. That frees the other side to be used as a place where we could keep plastic bins full of anything we need. To create this area, I started by installing a couple of rails to support this shelf. I cut a 3/4 inch piece of plywood to the proper dimensions, stained it, and popped it into this space. Now we have extra counter space that comes in really handy when we are prepping meals, and underneath it is an area that can hold 6 of these plastic totes. I attached a piece of netting to the front to hold the totes in place while we're heading down the road. The nice thing about this solution is it's removable. If we want to have guests over or we want to play cards or something, we pull out the totes and toss them on the back corner of the bed. The shelf lifts out, I put back in the seat cushions, and we quickly have a full dinette again. Over on the main counter, there's a 3-burner propane stove and a sink. When we camp, we do not use propane, so we've never actually used the stove. The sink, though, gets a lot of use. Under the dinette is a 6-gallon water heater, which will provide more than enough hot water for washing dishes. There's an outside shower, but we always just use the campground's bathhouse. Since we try not to use propane, I've installed an aftermarket electric heating element in the water heater, and it has no problem keeping up with our low hot water demand. Under the stove is a 3-way refrigerator. It's not very big, but it does work well on 12 volts, which is nice to keep the food cold on longer trips. Under the sink is a switch for the water pump. This used to be located on the panel under the bed, but it made more sense to just move it here. Across the way is the second counter. This holds the microwave, stereo system, and the thermostat. I've done a lot of reworking on this counter. First, I moved one of the stereo speakers from under the bed to here. The TV cable connection used to be on the face of the panel, under the radio, but that was awkward for it, so I moved it next to the outlet over the bed. That left a large hole in the front panel, so in its place I installed a high-speed USB outlet. To free up this countertop, I made a TV mount of my own design that allows us to hang a TV on the side wall. It's simple to use and lets us watch TV either from the dinette or while laying in bed. Yes, we like to watch TV while camping. Another issue A-frames have with TVs is there's no place to mount an antenna. So if the campground doesn't have cable, you're normally out of luck. That wasn't a good option for us, so I designed a system that lets me mount an antenna to the back bumper. It's easy, quick, and works really well. One of the biggest interior mods I've done was here under the bed. Originally, there was a large plastic heat pump panel that took up most of the room under here. I looked at the setup and found out that all the panel did basically was hold 3 4-inch ducts and the return air filter. This was a big waste of prime real estate, so I removed the entire wooden front panel and I replaced it with one that shifted the ducts and filter to the sides. In the panel center, I installed a large, deep, custom-built drawer. This new drawer is a perfect place for us to store all of our clothes. While I was at it, I built a shallow storage shelf under the bed to the left. It not only holds all of the camper's manuals, but it's a good cubby for things like games, magazines, and books. So there you have it, a recap of some of the work we've done to our 2017 Fleetwood Hardside A-Frame camper. It's been a great way for us to do a lot of traveling and have a really comfortable place to stay. Overall, we've loved our A-Frame camper because they're easy to tow, easy to set up, and easy to pack back up. They're also light and fuel efficient. This one's sticker weight is only 2,260 pounds. Well, believe it or not, now that we finally have this camper all updated and finished, it's time for us to let it go. Why, you ask? The big reason is we currently own 3 campers, and even we can't use all 3 of them. For the past year, this one's mostly just been hanging out in the backyard, occasionally going out for a brief overnight trip. As much as we like having this cool camper, it just doesn't make sense to hold on to it any longer. Hopefully, we will find someone who will enjoy it as much as we have. High five that like icon, jingle the bell, and subscribe to my channel. I've still got 2 campers that are both wanting to go out on adventures. So until next time, keep camping.
I poured poop all over you.
Boy, Grandpa, this trailer smells like poop.
Pew, it's really stinky in here.